Christopher Tarantola here with Kerbal Space Program. We are playing in career mode. Honestly, forget the name because I didn't even back out from the last video. But we're just going to continue right on. So here we go. Okay, so we got a couple contracts. I have this neat little app, or not app, but mod, which gives you a contracts window that is different from, this is the stock one here, and you can click and expand. Normally expand it, but I find that this gives me more information that is useful. It tells me how long I have to complete the contract before it will run out. It tells me what I will earn if I achieve the contract and what I will be penalized if I decide to decline it, or if I just simply don't achieve it in time, or whatever. And so those are useful stats. I can also click on the little plus sign and perform the test, activate the part through the staging sequence when all test conditions are met. And the test conditions are, you need to be at Kerbin and at the launch site. So I can't be at the runway, I gotta be at the launch pad. Okay, no big deal. So we're gonna go ahead and get those two contracts done and out of the way real nice and quick, and then we'll start actually going to space, get into the fun stuff. So I'm gonna bring my contracts plus window back up so that I can just monitor this real quick. So I need a Thumper solid fuel booster and a Spacewide radial SRB. And the nice thing about it is, for many of them, they'll actually, here's the Thumper, and there's the radial SRB. Now notice I don't have my snapping on my, angle snapping on. I had brain fart there. And so it's kind of doing it a little bit different now. If I press Control C again, or if I had clicked on it, it goes back to snapping at, I think, 15-degree increments. I'm just going to throw it on there, no big deal. And we will take all the fuel out, because once I launch these, I don't really care to have them go anywhere, because I'm just going to keep them on the thing. I think what I'm going to do, though, come on, I'm clicking on you. So I am going to have symmetry on, even though I don't need that extra one, just for the sake of balance, so it doesn't fall over. Okay? It still has no fuel, no delta V, so it's not going to go anywhere. Now, to do this, I need to have some control. I can do a command pod module and have like Jeb go out there and do it, or I can just throw this Stay Pucknick on there. But if I'm going to do that, because I have a particular mod that requires a connection back to the KSC through some sort of antenna for you to be able to control a robotic probe, I need to make sure I put on, this is the wrong one. I need to put on a Communicatron. Now, I don't need two, just the one. There you go. And I'm just throwing it on there. I don't care where I'm placing it. I don't need it Kerbal engineering system, because we ain't going anywhere. But I will go ahead and throw a thermometer on there, since it's new, and an ABS device. And what that's going to do for us is we'll be able to get that science while on the launch pad, so we don't have to worry about doing that with another craft. We also get this bigger antenna if we wanted it, and if we extend it, that's what it will look like, extending it and retracting it. We won't use that yet. It costs more money, it costs more battery, but what that will do for us is it will let us go to the moon and to some of the further places like Duna and Eve, and I think even Moho, maybe Drez. I think it could reach Dres, but it's going to have a hard time. Once you get past Dres, these antennas will no longer work, and we're going to need more tech to do so. But by that time, we ought to have been able to unlock that tech. So again, we're not going to bother naming this. We're just going to launch it. All right. So we're going to wait for it to fully load. I have that KGR stabilizing. That's a lifesaver, particularly on larger unwieldy vessels or space stations. We're going to log temperature, and we're just going to keep it. We get more science that way, and we don't have a whole lot of battery to be able to do much. Okay, so now we're going to stage both of those, and we got the confirmation that yes, we did complete that contract, and yes, we did complete that contract. We're going to recover the vessel, and that's that. Now we're back, so I'm going to go and get into mission control, do some more contracts. We can move that over. Let's see. Your survey. Test the flea. You know, I don't even know if I'm going to mess with that. I don't think it's worth my time. I'm just going to start getting out there and getting it, right? I am going to go here, and I don't have enough to spend, so no. Not going to do anything. So I am going to try and make it into space. I don't think I'm going to make it into orbit on this one, but honestly, I'll just give it a good honest try. With these boosters, I actually ought to be able to. So I'm going to try and make it to orbit. Alright, so I want that. Get the parachute. Parachute is important. Should I add the landing legs? I think I am, because I very well may land on land. And if I do, I'll want those landing legs. And I'm going to put 3 of them. Oh, no, not 4, 3. Yeah, 3 of them. Yeah, there we go. And then these are going to start retracted, not extended. I'm going to go ahead and give them some snacks. This is a mod by Rover Dude, who actually is on the development team now. He got on the development team because he did so many of these awesome mods. I mean, I don't know the story. That's just what I assume, because he does have some really freaking awesome mods that I use. Now, if you notice, I'm kind of going to cheat a little bit and throw it in there like that. And the reason I do that is for aerodynamics. In fact, I'm going to go over here to the tool and move, and I'm going to turn off the snap, and I'm going to push these in as well. And the reason I'm doing that is just for aerodynamic sake. And I think that's honestly a little bit more realistic to how you would do one of these things in real life. I mean, if you were in real life, you're not going to throw these things on the side of your craft. You're going to put them inside, and you're going to design your craft around having that stuff. So, well, technically it might be considered cheating by some. I'm not going to consider that cheating, because I'm just trying to make it aerodynamic there, and so I'm not just throwing it inside, no weight, no nothing. I just being a little bit there. Okay, now we need to have a heat shield. If we do make orbit, or specifically if we don't make orbit, it's actually more dangerous a lot of times, because you're coming in at a steeper angle, and so you have if you're not coming in at a shallow angle, then you actually have less atmosphere to go through to slow you down, and that can lead to litho braking, which is less than optimal. Okay, so stack the coupler, and I'm gonna have our first stage. a swivel. And it's only going to give us... So I think I'm going to double up on that. That gives us 1300 delta V. You need about... We're going to want about 3500 delta V total. Okay? So, and then we're going to do another stack decoupler. And I'm going to press shift and then click, and it grabs the whole craft, and then I'm just rolling my mouse wheel up to move up without moving it out of the way, because if you move your mouse, it'll get out of center, which I kind of don't like. I wish it would always just snap to the center. But I guess sometimes that's not something you would want. So anyway, stack decoupler, and then we're going to go with a nice big booster here. Bam. Now, I don't know. Yeah, that's not going to be as cool. That's not going to be as cool. So, we're going to do that. We're going to want to adjust the thrust to weight on that. And then we can do some radial decoupling. Turn my angle snap back on. And I'm just going to go with 3. And then I'm going to go with these. Oh, I had the test, but I don't actually have them unlocked yet. Oh, wow. I should have just left it so I could have used them. So I'm going to just do some additional of these. And then you're going to want to put the nose cone on these. And we're going to want to have some stabilization for control. Like that. Okay. So, yeah, let's adjust this to be, you know, if you have a less than 1, you'll never make it off the ground, because you're literally thrusting less than your weight as a percentage, and therefore your weight is greater than your thrust. And so at 1.3, you're about, you're going to thrust at about 1/3 your weight more, 1/3 more than your total weight, right? 1.33, so it's 133% thrust force versus your weight force, which gives you an imbalance in equilibrium, which sends you up, which is what the whole point of a rocket is. Okay, now I wish I could, you know, duct tape these back together, but I can't, so I'm just going to leave that. I got 4,000 delta V, so that ought to get us into orbit if I'm doing things correctly. And let's go ahead. I think I forgot to do this, and it's important to me. Kerbal Engineering System, definitely want that, and we want an antenna. Definitely. And we want, I only want 1 antenna. Better. And we want this ABS device. I always think of anti-lock brake system when I hear ABS. That's not what that stands for. I don't even know what it does stand for. Does it sound? The alive beep signal. There you go. Alive beep signal. Okay, and we want to throw some batteries on there too, I think. I think that would be wise of us. Particularly if we do make orbit. Turn the snap back off. And again, just for the sake of aerodynamics, I'm going to throw that in. And it's going to be important too, not just for going up, but perhaps even more critical for coming back down. Your heat shield is only going to throw the hot plasma out so far, and so if these are sticking out too far, they will get hit by that plasma, and they will tend to explode when they do that. And again, that is less than optimal. So we got snacks. We have this little system here that'll tell us with our one person that gives us enough supplies for 12 days, and the module itself, people are willing to live in it for 30 days at a time. Beyond 30 days, they're going to get a little bit bat crazy being in such a small space. The batteries, because you need batteries to survive as well for heat and lights and oxygen and stuff like that, they will last for 1 day. So that's our limiting factor on this particular craft. I also need to take this monopropellant off. That would give us a little extra delta V. And one of the things I am not taking into account right now is we have too many parts. I've put too many parts on here. So I might take those off. And so I need 4 less parts. And this is what's really killing me. And how much money do I have total? I have 114, so I might can ship 1 and save, and then I'm gonna exit out. And what I'm going to do is upgrade this. Oh, I don't have enough. Darn. Trying to, you gotta take baby steps, right? I'm trying to do too much at once. Once I'll be able to definitely get out of the atmosphere, but I don't know that I'll be able to make orbit. Alright. Yeah, I might be able to. And I'm literally just gonna have 2 of those, so I kinda don't like that. Can I afford 3? I can't. 1 part too much. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna take this ABS off, because that doesn't give you like that's not really helpful until you get to like some of the further planets get far away. All right, so that will work. That's gonna get us there. Make sure my thrust to weight ratio is appropriate for that. And bring that down. That thusly. Have this go off, and then these go off, and I'll have that happen at the same time, and I'll have that happen at the same time, and then that'll come off, and then I'll do my parachute, and it'll land without legs, hopefully not break this Science Junior. Yeah, well, we're going to go for it, and if we lose the Science Junior, oh well, there'll be plenty of opportunity to do more. Okay, so we're going to save that. We're going to also, Jebediah, you're not going to do that. We're going to have Valentina. Valentina will be the first Kerbal in space. Good for her. She is my favorite Kerbal by far, bar none. Bar none. Let me tell you. She's gonna be huge. I'm sorry, I can't help it. Whether you like them or you hate them, you gotta admit that it's fun to do caricatures of Donald Trump. Okay, let us launch this puppy. This H2O, that's what I'm drinking. Nothing fancy, nothing bad for you, just water. Okay. I'm going to turn stability assist on by pressing T, Z for maximum thrust. That's not going to matter now, but once I get up to this stage, it will. And go. Yeah, and we have a little bit less frames per second with all this dust. Once we get up into the air, which is why I've also done this worm's eye view, it will start to speed up. I'll also go to map by pressing M and toggle this up because I am going to want to take a look at my apoapsis. I don't think I've upgraded my tracking station yet, so I'm not going to be able to do, what are those called, maneuver nodes. So I'm just going to have to play it by ear. So I'm going 40 meters per second. I'm at about 500 meters. So I'm actually starting to tip naturally. I did not do this. I'm tipping way too fast. I don't like this at all. This is not working out well. This is not working out well. Jebediah or Valentina, you need to save this world because this is not working out the way we want. We are definitely not making it to space, let alone orbit. Oh boy. I'm going to try and let those go off. I still do not have enough control authority. Oh, now I got my, now I have a control authority, and I went too far with it. Now she's just slowing down. Oy vey. Okay. Alright. That worked out less optimally than I would have liked. We just don't have enough of control authority. It's just too big of a vessel with the technology that we currently have. You know what we can do? Since we're here, we can try and land it without using our parachute, which might be fun. But part that we wanted stayed intact. Yeah, and so we're on the grasslands now, so we can still observe, keep that experiment, and observe, and keep that experiment, and we'll rotate this thing. We'll log the temperature, and we'll keep that, and we'll do a crew report, and we might as well send that in, and then we're going to rotate back around. Oops, not too quickly. Easy there, Val. Alright, Val, get out. Let's do an EVA report. We'll keep that, and I'm just going to store that experiment. And spacebar to stand up. And let's do another EVA report. And we'll send that off. She can't plant flags yet. She can't take surface samples. Yeah. So, not the most successful flight. You can do this. There we go. And recover vessel. But, you know, that's what a space program's about. You don't always have the most successful flights. I did get some science going here, and that'll be enough to unlock some more tech. And so hopefully we can get some tech to give us some control authority, flight control, get us a small inline reaction wheel, and some better winglets. I think I'm going to go for that. And so reaction wheels. Scott Manley did a really great little video about it, but I'll just explain my understanding here. Reaction wheels are basically spinning I don't want to say gyroscopes, but they're spinning. They have a gyroscopic effect. When something spins in space, it has a tendency to resist torque in one direction or the other. Or if you spin it in a certain way, it can induce torque, and therefore reaction wheels. That's what they do. They're large spinning wheels, and if you spin it in one way, the craft is going to react and go in the other direction based on that torque. And how they're built and all that, again, I refer you to Scott Manley and other people more well versed than I, but that's basically how they control your attitude, which is which direction you're pointing, is basically what that means. They don't do it perfectly in Kerbal Space Program, but you know, I think they do a pretty good job of balancing the need to be realistic and the need to just have fun and not have to worry about all the particulars. They have real solar system, which you can get saturation of your reaction wheels, which is more realistic and stuff like that. But you know, again, this is for fun, not for having to grind out the way you'd have in real life. And there are mods if you want to do it that way. So for those that like to do it that way, it's there for you, but not everybody has to. And so that's nice. Okay, I'm back over my part count. You know, I still don't have enough money to upgrade. Puts me back under. So what I think I'm gonna have to do is I think I'm just gonna have to have one of these and just one of these. Hopefully that'll balance out the center of mass. Not too bad. Okay. I'll go ahead and move these in a little bit. And that keeps us under our part count. Our supplies, you know, we don't even need that many supplies. In fact, what we can do is right click and we can reduce the amount of supplies that we have, because we only need 1 day's worth, right? Maybe we ought to give him 3 days so he doesn't starve to death in case we run out of batteries, but we still are in the craft. Yeah, that'll give us a little extra delta V that way. And see, what I ultimately would like to do is I'd like to have 3 of these winglets. Alright, and we're under our part count. In fact, I can add 1 more part if I want somehow or another. And so I think we'll go back and we'll get this, no, just the 1. There you go. Attaboy. Okay. Alright, and we're going to save that kinship 1 again. Make sure, is Val going to be the girl again? Yes, she is. Alright, let's launch that sucker. Those 2, then that and that, and that's good, and that, that's good. Yeah, no, my staging is good. One of the things I am going to do, though, is I'm clicking the middle mouse wheel, and I can move things around, up and down, left and right, from the center of mass. It tends to center on the center of mass, which I can understand why they do that, but sometimes can be frustrating. It's not what I wanted to do. Reset. I wanted to see, you can click this little button here and then move it over here, and then I can go to map mode, do whatever I'm doing, and I can come back from map mode, and it's still there. And I can right-click off, and I can, and it'll stay there. And I can right-click on other things like the thermometer, and it will stay there. And that is handy. Now, some of the modded things like this ABS, it does not work. I can click that and I can move it over here. But if I click test a live beep, go ahead and do it. Yeah, it's going to go away, and it just goes away. Where if I log temperature, it'll stay there. And that's a little bit annoying, but you know what? That's sometimes the price you got to pay for having nice, fun mods. So, okay. So, yeah, I'm going to transmit that. What the heck? I'm going to also have the mystery goo unit here. And I'm also going to have this so I can do crew reports on the way up. And when I'm flying high, and when I'm flying high and in space low, I'm going to want to do that. Okay, Val, are you ready, girl? I think she is. I already got, what's this? We have broken an altitude record and a speed record. Oh, on our failed attempt. Okay, so T, SAS, Z, full throttle, spacebar, let's go. And honestly, I'm just going to go map view for the moment. Tell it's still going to be difficult to control. Uh-oh, we're losing it, we're losing it. Val, don't die. Oh no. Val died. Valentina died. That is less than optimal. You can tell I know what I'm doing, can't you? I'm trying to do too much too quickly is honestly what my problem is. That's what my problem is. Okay. Escape. And let's revert to a vehicle assembly. Yeah, I'm going to do it. I know some people find that cheap. That's cheating. But they put it in there for a reason. And I like Val too much. She's my favorite Kerbal. I told you that already. I'm not going to lose her. No, not going to do it. I'm going to go back in time, Superman it around the world, and yeah, not gonna happen. So honestly, we just gotta reduce this by quite a bit. I think I'm gonna get rid of several stages. You know, I still gotta want to have somewhat of a stage there so I can deorbit. That's not going to get us to orbit, but it will get us to space. Okay. Hopefully this will be a little bit better. You know, if we honestly, what you typically want to do is you want to wait. One of the reasons why it's so hard to control with those radial boosters, they're not, I don't have any struts, and so they tend to wobble in torsion, but on the axis that it's attached to. So the top is going to move left and right, and when it moves left, then that's going to create a force that's going to make it want to, it's going to create a torque, and that's bad because then it's harder to control. So with this being all in line with only these on there, it's much less likely to create torque, and so therefore you should have a lot more. You should have a lot more authority to control it, a lot more controllable is, I guess, what I was looking for. I was looking for. Okay, so we're going up. I'm going to leave it straight. Actually, I got to modify it because it is starting to tip, and that's probably because it's got a slight imbalance in its mass from the odd way I've put together. And, you know, I'd like to be going 100 before I really start doing my gravity turn. You know, it's just going to go south. So we're going south. We're not going to go in a typical east fashion. We're not going to make it to orbit anyway. I'm pushing. I'm trying to make it go back towards the center, and it's turning on its own. You notice that I have my thing, and it's still just turning on its own. It's doing its own thing. I don't like it, but there's not much I can do about it. And we will get a successful flight here. Probably should have done this like I had done last time. Yeah, we're gonna reset that. We're gonna go to that. Still considered over the shores. This whole thing is considered shore here. Definitely is going to be our highest flight. I think we broke Mach, or we're just about to. Whoa, easy. Slowing down because I'm going retrograde. That's not what I want. Okay, now I'm just going to shoot straight up just to try and get as much altitude as I can. Well, I lost again. And I'm just going to just decouple it. Oh, okay. So, well, we definitely doing this is the most fly by the seat I have ever been, not ever, but in a long time. I'll be honest with you. From this perspective, you can see the underwater topology. Interesting. We are headed back downwards at this point. But I'm going to wait till we are lower to open up my chute. I am going to try and orient the craft retrograde. That's what that little symbol means, retrograde. The other one that's just a circle with the 4 is prograde. You have radial, anti-radial, normal, anti-normal. Target, anti-target, and your maneuver node and anti-maneuver node. Docking, anti-docking even. Though all those are kind of more for the game than I don't know. Never done real life, so quite frankly don't know. There's something that's gonna fall. That's the last stage there. It just splashed. And when we hit 1,000, that'll open up. There's our G's. Nothing too bad, but definitely not comfortable. And we are slowing down to a comfortable 7 meters per second on average there. I can jettison this shield, and that's going to slow me down a little bit more. Okay, so broke the 7,000 altitude record and 10-kilometer distance record. And there's our shadow. So we're coming in. Speed it up for a few seconds. Here we go. Their mystery goo. You expose the material samples to the environment, taking notes of how it behaves. That's kind of boring. I know they have better ones for being splashed down, but I didn't get it this time. The goo escapes into the water. Cover that vessel. And go from there. All right, guys. Well, we didn't make it into space, but I'm gonna call it on this episode, and we got some science here, so I'm going to try and get some more stuff, and hopefully we'll make it next episode. Thanks for watching. Bye.